Hi, welcome to my video. Are you in your early 20s? Have you noticed a surprising number of people doing long distance running? Joining a random class to learn something? Picking up hobbies all of a sudden? Going on a solo trip? Welcome to your early 20s, a time where an agency to carve out your own life replaces the shared experiences of your youth. So this period of your life can get pretty overwhelming fairly quickly. You might have had great expectations about how this period of your life would turn out. But really, being in this stage of life is all about making decisions. What do you have to do? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go with your life? The friends who went to the same high school as you, stayed up late at night with you, studied with you, played sports with you. Well, you'll quickly find them moving on to different paths. They might move out of the state, the country, some might find a job, others might move on to college or grad school. Your older siblings might be getting married even. So let's be quite clear, this is the period of divergence. And by period of divergence, I seriously mean it.
Camping alone in a snowstorm is better than having intimacy with a girl. That's because out here, man, I have tried both, and I must say...
So where do we even begin? Well, what problem are we even really trying to solve? Is it how to be successful in your life? Is it how to have successful relationships? Is it how to find purpose in your life? Or is it just how to be happy in your life? Well, fortunately or unfortunately, right? It's likely all of that and whatever else you might place an importance on in your life. And that really brings us to the most important point, that being that it really is all dependent on what you want to do with your life. So imagine your life to be a bit like this roadmap. The diverging paths of life are hidden under the fog of the future. And you aren't quite sure where you'll end up. You as a 20-year-old probably don't know yourself as well as you think. And you are suddenly under the pressure to choose your path. The pressure can come from anywhere, from maybe your society, likely your family and your friends, right? And probably yourself as well. And so this really is our dilemma. So beginning the first basic framework of your 20s is sort of figuring out what kind of person you are. It is fundamentally really difficult to create a life that you want if you yourself don't know what you want in the first place, right? This really means putting yourself out there and trying out new things. You're only going to live once, so go do that thing, right? Show up for that marathon, go backpacking across Europe, show up for whatever ideas that you might have. To be very honest, not every idea you choose to explore will be a success, right? And that's fine. What's actually important is putting yourself out there to try something new. I've known people in my life who have randomly obtained like fitness training licenses or become models or even got opportunities to sing in public just because they tried. Well, look at me. I'm filming this video. Am I doing a good job? Probably not. Probably not. But I'm having fun, and I hope you are too. So you'll not find out who you are immediately, but do enough new things, dedicate yourself to a cause enough, and the experiences will pile up over time. You will form different opinions on different things, and the evidence of who you are and what you stand for will accumulate over time. I really, really wish I could tell you what you should be doing, but really the truth is that everyone wants to do different things with their life, right? And you need to find out for yourself what resonates with you. But I will not leave you to wander this maze blind. The second basic framework for your 20s is to build supporting pillars and capital. By pillars and capital, I mean something like evidence of who you are and what you have done. You need to choose a few things that matter to you in your life and put effort into them. I told you earlier to explore and find out who you are. Now I'm telling you, as much as you want to explore, you also want to keep yourself somewhat grounded in the things you already know are important to you. This is your base of stability as you go out to explore. If you think family is an important pillar of your life, then invest time in it. Join your family for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, and so on. If you think friends are an important pillar of your life, then put in some effort and send them an occasional text. Ask them to hang out with you, spend time with the friends that you think are important, and cut out those that you think are a bad influence on your life. If you think pushing yourself is an important part of you, or part of someone you want to become, then step out of your comfort zone and try out new things. If you think success and money are important, then you should be moving towards that goal however you choose to achieve it. Start that business, do well in college, right? Ultimately, the important part is that your actions need to have intention in your 20s, right? You don't want to have these relationships, projects, or achievements define you. What you really want is to internally have evidence that you are the kind of person to do that thing, that you are a good friend, someone creative, someone who pushes himself, right? Externally, of course, it helps to have support groups or evidence to propel your identity. And the reason why there's so much emphasis on identity here is because if any of these pillars or capital were to collapse, you have evidence of what kind of person you are, right? And so you'll be able to push through regardless of what happens to you. Now, not everyone is going to have the same pillar in their lives, right? Some might not have great family members, some might not have friends, some might not have a purpose to occupy their time, and that's all right, we all start somewhere. And I say that with all my sincerity. We are young and I believe that we have the time to build. So for me, I find that starting out with the physical is probably the easiest way to get going. I went running, I went to the gym, I built up my health pillar and capital slowly over time, and I got a bit more confident. Getting physically in shape, in my opinion, is an excellent starting point. You can pivot yourself to hobbies, trying out new things, reading, or even taking up creative projects like me. Another thing to note is that your starting pillars don't have to all be the same size. Maybe you just moved to a new city and you don't have many friends yet. Maybe your family is your biggest pillar. Maybe you're really dedicated to your job or a project in your current state of life. That's fine. Just remember your risk allocation of your pillars. Make sure that if your main pillar collapses, you will not be left with nothing, right? Also remember that your pillars don't define you. They're just evidence of who you are and that you are working towards some kind of purpose. And yes. Finally, for everyone here, remember that when trying to build a life that you want, the exact data points of what you are doing actually does not really matter, right? If you choose to chill out and play games or take a nap in the afternoon, it usually really does not matter that much. What really matters is the trend line. If the trend is staying in the right direction, well, good job, you are too. Anyway, thank you all for watching my first video. If you ever wonder what a first video looks like, this is probably it, right? If you guys could leave some sort of feedback down below, that would be appreciated.